Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Santa Anita Derby preview. First bet and express bet. Jeremy Plonk, Jeff Siegel, getting ready for a huge day at Santa Anita on Saturday. Jeff, the big one in your backyard.
Yes, it is. I saw my first Santa Anita Derby live in 1960. I thought I knew everything at that time. I was all of 9 years old, and since then I have found out that maybe I didn't know everything. And every year I get, I guess, less and less smart. But I think I have a chance, maybe, and I think we both do have the chance to figure out this year's Run Happy Santa Anita Derby. There's only 6 starters, half of which are being trained by the same guy, Tim Yakteen. So we will see if Messier earns his way into the Kentucky Derby. He'll have to finish first or second to do that. And if he does on his way, and I'm sure he will perform admirably and take his talents to Churchill Downs.
First post is noon Pacific on Saturday with a 12-race program. Santa Anita Derby goes as race number 6. Post expected about 2:45 Pacific. That's part of an NBC broadcast that also has the Triple Crown Preps, the Wood Memorial at Aqueduct. The Santa Anita Derby will be the bookend. And in between, the sandwich will be the Bluegrass at Keeneland, 4:30 to 6 on NBC, the times there. 12-race card, as we mentioned, with 7 stakes races, and the Santa Anita Derby kind of hits us right in the middle. Jeff, it looks like a showdown and a match race on paper. It's Messier, it's Forbidden Kingdom. They've both been impressive this year, but we've seen these two in the act before. Let's go back and watch last year's Bob Hope Stakes at Del Mar.
Forbidden Kingdom leads it by a half length. Winning Map is now coming a bit closer in second. Messier continues to gear up and gain ground on the outside. He's coming closer in the Gold Cap, and Kamui tries to hang tough in fourth. They're at the top of the stretch now on the Bob Hope Stakes. Forbidden Kingdom is full out, has got ahead in front. Whips out on Winning Map. Messier's got his chance now, and Messier joins them on the outside. It's Messier and Forbidden Kingdom in the final furlong, and Messier's in front. Flavien Prat and Messier now drawing clear. It's Messier. Flavien Prat gets his second today, but Messier is a clear winner of the Bob Hope Stakes. Forbidden Kingdom was second, then Winning Map and Kamui.
Now, that was 7 furlongs at Del Mar last fall in November. If this race was right back a couple weeks later, you'd say there's no way Messier gets beat as they go a longer distance. But we've seen some races since then. And how do you assess the development of these two, Jeff?
Well, I think Forbidden Kingdom is very, very fast, and I don't think he lost anything in defeat in that race at Del Mar when he went 21-2 and 43 and small change under pressure. So it made sense that Messier was sitting behind him and then was able to wear him down. But going a mile and an eighth, that's a little different pace scenario. Now, you don't rate Forbidden Kingdom. You don't take a hold. Right. You don't try to slow it down. You just try to wire the field. That's how he likes to run. So he won't have to go 43 and 1 1/2. At least I hope for his sake he doesn't. But if you slow it down just a little bit, and if he's not respected, then, it's going to be interesting from the quarter pole home.
Let's see him.
It's Forbidden Kingdom still with a commanding lead. Doppelganger will try to catch him in the final quarter of a mile. Cabo Spirit racing on the outside of Happy Jack. They turn for home. And Forbidden Kingdom still strong on the front end. A 7-length advantage. Doppelganger is clearly second, but it is Forbidden Kingdom. A stellar display. 6-length lead past the 16th pole. And what a performance from Forbidden Kingdom under Juan Hernandez in the San Felipe.
Absolutely as dominant as you could be there, Jeff. We don't get a lot out of the San Felipe as far as alumni to this point. Cabo Spirit did come back and run poorly in the Jeff Ruby on synthetic, but that's really an apples to oranges kind of comparison. So this field will be tougher on the top end for sure, but we knew he took care of Happy Jack last time. Forbidden Kingdom looks to have his A game, and he's back on these 3 furlong blowouts, the old Mel Studi, Melvinized kind of workouts. It worked for him last time, 3 days before that big San Felipe score. They did it again this Wednesday, Richard Mandela did, by blowing out. Kind of old school training, but certainly a new age talent, this horse.
Well, you're trying to take a little bit of an edge off him. You don't want him too fresh because you want him to go fast. You don't want him to go too fast and run off. So Richard Mandela, who grew up watching Charlie Whittingham do this, so it is old school. I'm old school, so I like old school. And Forbidden Kingdom, again, he's a very, very fast colt. And I do believe that he is going to make Messier run his best race to beat him. It's going to be one or the other, I would think, based on the pace flow. But Forbidden Kingdom, if he's allowed to get out there in less than 46, then more than 46, maybe about 46, 46-1, then he might not come back. And that's really a race within a race between these two great colts. It's not just the mile and an eighth, but it's the interior fractions that we'll be keeping a very close eye on. And who's to say that Taba, who was entered in a maiden winner, a debut maiden winner, won't be pressing that issue as well. So it's a tough race to handicap because we're not quite sure how the pace is going to shape up.
Well, Taba is that X factor you talked about, and a lot of fans might not know about this horse coming back since March 5th with the most recent start. Let's go back and look at that debut win that was so impressive here at Santa Anita Sprinting.
And it is Taba showing the way. Mauritius pressing on the outside. These two square off. Magic in the Moonlight is weakening a bit in between them. Then a wide one more bid, and down at the rail, Pioneering Papa, they turn for home. Taba has the lead, opens it up to about 2 lengths over Mauritius in second. They're followed by one more bid in third. They're coming to the 16th pole, and it's Taba now letting it out a notch and strutting his stuff. Taba in a sparkling debut. Look at him jet home. Taba romps, wins by almost 8-9 lengths.
$1.7 million. That's what it looks like in Flight to the Wire in the career debut. But it was a long way from that 6 furlong sprint. Again, the first week of March, and here we are in mid-April going to the Santa Anita Derby. We've seen some lightly raced horses do okay in this race over the years for sure, but this is as lightly raced as it gets.
One start, and while he was all the rage going into that race, and he earned a 103 Beyer number, which, by the way, equals what Messier, his career top was. That was going 6 furlongs. That's the only race he's had. He is a very fast colt, but I don't know how much impact he's going to have. I'm not sure they want him to run or lay that close to Forbidden Kingdom, because if he does that, that might crack him, and then who knows what happens after that. I'm thinking that Mike Smith is going to say, look, I can't run with Forbidden Kingdom, but I can sit behind him, and maybe if he can't get the trip, maybe my colt will. He's by gun runner. There's no telling how good Taba will be. I just don't know about just having one start and whether or not they're doing right by this colt. He might have been better off having another easier run and then trying the big boys in the Preakness. But he's in there, and that'll allow Messier probably to sit third, spoil off the pace, and then make that last run similar to what he did when he faced Forbidden Kingdom in the Bob Hope at Del Mar.
How soon do you think Messier goes after him? I mean, does he allow Forbidden Kingdom to set the tone and then into the far turns start to make that move? Or do you wait a little bit longer?
Yeah, I don't know if Messier has a great dominant late kick. I he's not slow from the quarter pole home for sure, but I don't know whether he's one of these horses that you can kind of have him make up all the ground from the top of the stretch to the wire. I think he's going to have to get into him a little bit sooner than that, maybe around the 3/8 pole. I'm not saying make a premature all-out move there, but he better be within range because, as we know, Santa Anita traditionally is good for speed, and we know Forbidden Kingdom in the race that we saw, he wasn't coming back to anybody. No. So, I mean, you can't give him too much to do. So that's going to be up to Johnny V. Where does he want to be, and how close does he need to be from the quarter pole home?
Messier's a little fresher, right? I mean, he didn't run since the Lewis back in February, skipped the San Felipe, which was the dominant performance by Forbidden Kingdom. So if you haven't seen Messier in a while, let's look back to just a rousing win in the Bob Lewis in February.
They have a 1/4 mile to run, and Messier is in command. Cabo Spirit 1.5 lengths behind, and the others are well back as Messier turns it on at the top of the stretch, and he is making his mark on the 3-year-old crop. It's Messier putting on a dazzling display, opening up by 10, by 12. Messier all alone in the Robert B. Lewis Stakes. Cabo Spirit was clearly second. Wharton checked in third.
Doesn't get much easier than that. And if Messier can have that kind of performance again, he probably goes to Kentucky as the favorite. In fact, I think Forbidden Kingdom with a dominant performance like that could end up the favorite in the Kentucky Derby. Right now, favoritism maybe to Epicenter, the horse who won in Louisiana, but there's a chance one of these two horses from Santa Anita who could come out of this race with a big performance goes to Kentucky to the Kentucky Derby as the favorite. And the interesting thing this weekend, Jeff, from a gambling standpoint, is the Kentucky Derby future wager, which is available with First Bet and Express Bet. closes at 4:30 Eastern. It's going to close about an hour and 15 minutes before they run the Santa Anita Derby. You're not going to have a chance to see these horses. And from a future standpoint, I like that. I like the fact that you might get a better price. If you think Messier is going to win this race by 5 easily and go to Churchill as the favorite, you're going to get a much better price on him in the future wager, more likely an hour and 15 minutes before it happens. Same goes if you're in the Forbidden Kingdom camp. So a couple different ways to kind of attack this race from a gambling standpoint.
Could be. And I'll tell you what, Messier, though, he better run first or second. He's not going to have any points, enough points to get there. Of course, if he doesn't run first or second here, he probably wouldn't go anyway. But they're taking a shot here because that's one of the reasons why Tim Yakteen took over from Bob Baffert. Now he is eligible to earn points if he wins this race. He's by Empire Maker. He absolutely should get a mile and a quarter. He's got that style where he can lay close up and then kick home. And the only concern I have with Messier is that he was beaten as the 1-2 favorite in his debut. He also failed at 50 cents on the dollar at Los Al. So is not completely trustworthy, but I can tell you this: if he would have run back to his last race in the Lewis, then he probably will be odds on and deservedly so. So it's really interesting. I'm not, of course, you have the trainer change to consider as well. Messier is training really well for sure, but he's not training as fast as he would be if he was training with Bob Baffert. There's a different style of training there for Tim Yakteen. So lots of unanswered questions leading up to this race, but the talent is there. The absolute sheer ability is there for Messier to put on display.
Go to xbtv.com and check out the workout library for many of these contenders. We've got several going back on Messier. He used to work in company a lot. The last 3 or 4, he's been working solo, trying to take a little off the fastball and to get him to go longer distances now. Maybe that's part of it, in working solo in the mornings. It's all going to come to fruition. You said he's not quite trustworthy. I've got good news for you, Jeff. There's a $10 money-back special from ExpressBet and FirstBet. If your win bet in the Santa Anita Derby finishes second or third, ExpressBet and FirstBet will give you the $10 wagering credit back into your account. So you don't have to be perfect in this spot, and with a smaller field, why not take a shot? If you want to take a big shot at a long shot, maybe you could still get in there third and get your money back. But this is one of those where if Messier stubs his toe or Forbidden Kingdom just comes up second best or vice versa, you can still get your money back on the bet. You're not going to get a lot back on the win bet, but you have almost a no-risk wager.
Yeah, it's he better run second or third. I can tell you that something unforeseen is going to have to happen for Messier. Even money on the morning line, I'm going to pick him to win. That's because of what I have always believed in Messier as being that quality of colt. I haven't been as high on Forbidden Kingdom, but I have to admit he's training really, really well. And maybe I didn't give him quite the credit he deserves for that runaway win in the San Felipe. And looking back at the video, it really was impressive. Yes. But he's just not a rateable type of horse, and it's just a matter of how much he can slow down and reserve that energy for the quarter pole home, how much pressure Tabor, if any, is going to put on him, and whether or not he can carry his speed that extra 16th of a mile in this race, and then, of course, a mile and a quarter in Kentucky.
A whole different ball game there, right? With 20 horses, 19 around you, and a mile and a quarter, and a hoopla that goes with it. This could be Derby Day 4 Forbidden Kingdom. Grade 1, 750,000, smaller field in your backyard. Speed can play much better here than it will in Louisville, but there's only one Kentucky Derby, and everybody wants to get there. And probably the top 2 in this race will end up there on the other side of the Santa Anita Derby. We've got a $5,000 money back special at ExpressBet and FirstBet in the, or not a $5,000 money back special, a $5,000 hit and split for the late pick 4. So the late pick 4, the final 4 races on the card Saturday. If you take down the late pick 4 at ExpressBet or on the FirstBet app, you will share $5,000 in bonus money with other players who hit it. Now, I would like a $5,000 money back special, Jeff.
I'll sign up for that one. I don't know if they'll take it, but even the hit and split is a really, really good way to make extra money if you hit that pick 4, and then if you're one of the few people who do it, that payoff becomes rather substantial. So I would definitely dive in and take that.
I got a feeling the marketing guys would make us accountable for the $5,000 hit and split if we told somebody they got it.
Neutral clerk. If you pay them back, you got to pay it out of your own wallet. Remember that?
That's right. I want to make it abundantly clear. I'm not offering a $5,000 hit and split in the Santa Anita Derby to everybody. Hey, it's been fun previewing the race with you, Jeff. We'll do this again for big races throughout. And we also want to tell people, check out our new podcast series on Tuesday. It's official, when we recap the weekend that was and give you the 5 key takeaway points from the the previous week and some bonus as well. It's official on Tuesdays with Jeff and I. We'll recap the Santa Anita Derby day and all the great races around the country. Santa Anita Derby field coming up on Saturday post time, right around 5:45 Eastern. Hot temperatures expected in the 90s, so dress cool if you're headed to the Great Race Place. On behalf of everybody at First Technologies, my partner Jeff Siegel, I'm Jeremy Plonk. Good luck in the Santa Anita Derby.